Today I rise to talk about the nearly 500,000 young people in our nation's child welfare system. Last month was National Foster Care Month, a time for our country to come together to acknowledge the 500,000 people in our system, the hundreds of thousands who work within the system day in and day out, and the millions of adults who have exited the system and are no longer in care. No one knows the child welfare system like the foster youth who have grown up in the system. Today, the Congressional Caucus on Foster Youth and the National Foster Youth Institute have brought more than 35 young people from all over the country to shadow their member of Congress. I would like to take a second to thank the members of Congress who are spending this morning learning from a constituent and delegate of the program about their personal experiences and ideas to make impactful change in the child welfare system. Each year, our participants have a real hand in making change. From the Chafee grant extensions to the passage of Families First Prevention Services Act to securing COVID relief for foster youth, this group's voices have changed our child welfare system forever. As a matter of fact, when COVID first struck and none of us in the country knew what to do, the young people who were members of the National Foster Youth Institute contacted members of Congress and said, while you are passing legislation to address the pandemic, don't forget us, because we have very specific needs. And members of Congress responded. And when we put together the emergency packages, we took their input. We took specifically what they requested, such as the Chafee grant extensions and other extensions of programs, and we put it into law and made sure that they had the resources. The reality is, when the government removes children from their parents, then the government becomes that child's parent. Too often, the government forgets this commitment, and life goes on for those not in the child welfare system, but for those in it, they come to feel trapped and forgotten. These young people here today have traveled thousands of miles to share their stories of their challenges, abuse, trafficking, over-medication, and homelessness. But in addition, they are sharing their successes with mentorship, adoption, family reunification, community activism, and independent living. Their resilience, the ability to navigate challenges in their life and succeed even in spite of that. Their goal is to leave Congress with a better understanding of the reality faced today by our nation's youth in care. I would like to share some words from Sandra Vaughan, who is shadowing me this morning. She told me just yesterday that her time in care helped shape the person she is today. While in care, she saw that resources for foster youth, especially when it came to education, were hard to find and hard to access. She manages a Facebook page of resources for foster youth of all ages, assisting them with finding and assessing housing support, educational funds, and mental health services. While in college, she experienced firsthand the impact of age requirements for former foster youth to receive assistance, a problem she'd like lawmakers to pay attention to better help the former youth in our district, the former foster youth in our district. There are several other young people that are here with me today. Jennifer Martinez, she is a former foster youth from Los Angeles who is now a foster youth advocate. Amber Rosada Estevez, she entered the child welfare system when she was 14 and aged out when she is 18, and now she is very successful in college. Anthony Vizcarrando spent 10 years in foster care from the ages of 6 to 16 in California's Central Valley. His placements included foster homes and juvenile hall. Anthony is a strong foster youth advocate who is focused on expanding educational opportunities and child welfare reform. Lucy Langley, between her placements in foster care and being behind by 19 credits, Lucinda thought she had no chance of graduating high school. But after years of hard work, that's exactly what she did. We need to understand as a country and as a Congress that when we address the child welfare system, this is the way of preventing these children from becoming homeless. In Los Angeles City alone, we have 50,000 people who sleep on the street every night. We have tents all over our city, and in those tents, there are thousands of young people who aged out of the foster care system when they were 18 or 21. And essentially what we have done as a society is cut them off of resources, and they wind up on the streets, or they wind up incarcerated, or they wind up trafficked. This is a failure of the system that we are responsible for. Our country is the richest country in the history of the world, and there is no excuse for us not to take care of the 500,000 young people in the foster care system. This is why we need to transform this system.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Thank you very much. Yield back the balance of my time.